Hi there, guys.
How are you? Hey, I'm Anant Kumar. I'm product manager for the cloud at PayPal.
I'm Jasdeep Singh. I'm a lead architect at PayPal, working on the platform services.
Hi there. So first of all, we're in Openstack East, the first time event in New York. How do you feel about it? What do you feel is different than the regular Openstack events and events in Silicon Valley and others?
So I think of course, there's the OpenStack Silicon Valley, which has been happening for a few years. The energy here is very different. The Silicon Valley companies tend to be, of course, very tech-centric. They understand a lot of the challenges. They've been doing OpenStack for a while. I see here a lot more newbies, a lot more interest in understanding the very fundamentals of OpenStack. PayPal, of course, is one of the largest installations of OpenStack. So I think there's lessons to be learned from our journey. But at the same time, I feel that I find listening to the stories, understanding the questions, how much we can learn from some of the mistakes we made early on ourselves.
Excellent. And in your talk today, you talked about the experience of PayPal in OpenStack. Maybe, Jasdeep, you could say a few words about that, and specifically the stateful application.
Sure. So, as I mentioned earlier in my talk that you talked about, we actually have been on OpenStack for more than almost 4 years now, and our journey has been primarily on the stateless space, where we're running web containers and app containers, or web servers and app servers in our OpenStack environment. It's a large environment. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of VMs. It's still not. We're talking about large scale here, but we have still not solved the problem of stateful applications. And the big challenge we faced with stateful applications is how do we manage storage, and how do we ensure that if a VM dies, how does storage move around? And those are the things that we're tackling now. So we're taking our journey in OpenStack to the next level, basically.
And for users who just start their journey with OpenStack, what would be your recommendation?
So I actually had this conversation with another financial company this morning. My number one recommendation would be start small, put all your dev and QA workloads into the cloud first, automate everything that you possibly can think of, and then everything that you can't think of. You cannot automate enough. The more stuff that you leave in there that's manual, as you grow, and I expect you will grow, it will come back to bite you. Everything that you can automate, from the deployment patterns, upgrades, remediation, detection, everything. The entire operation of the whole thing should be automated, because if you can't do that, you will at some point suffer from that.
And in terms of the usage and the type of applications, which kind of application, are there any specific preferences for tools that you would recommend people use to actually manage application on OpenStack?
There are a lot of open source tools that are available to manage OpenStack deployments and stuff. We use a lot of open source tools for monitoring, for deployments. We use Puppet a whole lot. We use Zabbix for our monitoring services, the ELK stack. There is a rich vendor community as well, right? As much as we use open source, we use VMware for our networking, SolidFire, NetApp for our block storage, SwiftStack for our Swift, Tesora for database as a service. We work with Mirantis. We work with other vendors for all kinds of other services. So I think it's a question of finding the right mix for yourself. But there is a variety of tools and services available in the ecosystem.
And what are we talked about what's the do's, what's the don't for newbie that are actually starting their journey on OpenStack?
The don'ts. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of cloud. When we started out, like I said in the presentation, we had 16 servers in a quarter rack. Today we have 10,000 plus servers, and this has all happened in less than 4 years, right? So don't underestimate how fast you can grow if you build it right. And that's the reason I emphasize that you have to automate, because as you're going to grow, if you have underestimated how fast your growth can be, you will suffer from the consequences of not automating.
So one last question for you, Jasdeep, in terms of the lesson learned and the way you said that you manage the workload. Going forward, what are you trying to implement? What would be your roadmap for the next thing to build the stateful cloud or whatever?
Yeah, so basically for us, the next key thing is going to be how do we take applications like Kafka, Elasticsearch, databases, NoSQL and otherwise, SQL databases to the cloud environment. And we are looking, of course, we are a massive OpenStack shop, but we are a hybrid cloud, we're looking at hybrid cloud actively. And so it needs to work for OpenStack, and the solution we come up with has to work across the other public cloud providers as well. So this is really the key things on our roadmap, basically going forward.
And I'll add to that, Nadi, especially when we talk about public cloud, right? Data, and we are a financial company, we have a lot of PCI, PII data, that becomes key to what can be moved, how it can be moved, what security guarantees we need, what additional controls we need to build in order for us to be comfortable moving the data first, even from private on-prem off cloud to private on cloud, and then moving that maybe into public cloud in the future.
Yeah, sounds like a fascinating roadmap because it's going to be probably an interesting journey. And thank you very much for being here, for sharing your experience, for being an active community member for a long time. I've been seeing you for a while, and thank you.
Thank you.